When it comes to making meaningful social change and righting justices of our past, it can be really confusing, overwhelming, and make it difficult to know what to do next. So this video is going to be all about how you can be an ally and an advocate every single day. Hi, I'm Mallory Grimste. If you're new here, I am a teen therapist and I love helping you improve your mental health with these videos. If that is something that you're into, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so that you're notified every single time I post a new video. It's really important during this process to stay humble and unassuming, or staying curious, because this stuff is hard. It's uncomfortable and it's difficult, and I want you to feel uncomfortable. Yeah, I do. Not overwhelmingly uncomfortable that you're feeling like you can't make any changes or movements, but just uncomfortable enough that you're ready to make a change. What is really interesting about this is it's awesome to do this for a week, but that's not long lasting. Long lasting change is incremental, and it's something that you have to keep doing. As a licensed clinical social worker, I actually get special training in these particular issues every single year. But that doesn't mean that I'm ever done learning and growing and improving and being more of a voice in my community and beyond. So without further ado, believe people when they tell you their stories. This is probably the number one factor that I see about what makes therapy work, and that's letting people know that their experience is real, it matters, and it makes sense. When you tell somebody that they're lying or they're misinterpreting or that their story isn't believable, you're basically telling them that their experience isn't real and that it doesn't matter. And that's just not true. In the media, there are a ton of examples in movies, in plays, in music of how unbelievable these stories can seem and be. And yet they are true. Don't be so quick to discount somebody's story by saying that it's unbelievable or that it couldn't possibly be true, or that because your experience is different, that their experience could never happen. Instead, stay curious, stay unassuming, ask questions, and get clarity. It's not your job to tell somebody that their experience is not true. It's your job to believe them. And I know a lot of you, when you hear these horrific stories, you want to jump in and fix it. You want to save the day. You want to be the superhero, which is totally natural, but it's not really helpful. I know a lot of the teens that I work with love to solve problems. I know that I do, but most of us don't need any help with that. A lot of times when we're sharing our experience and our story, we're not asking for you to jump in and fix it or solve the problem for us. We're just asking for you to listen and bear witness to the experience and validate that it happened and that it was true. Fixing something like systematic oppression and racism is a much bigger fix than these quick fix problem solving things that people suggest. Big change happens incrementally in the small actions that you take each and every day. And that's how you maximize cultural shifting and change. Which leads me into my next point. For some people, you're just getting clued into these conversations, which I think is great. Please take your time and sip from the cup. When you try to drink in all the information and all the resources at once, your brain can't hold that much new information at once. It needs time to marinate and settle in. So allowing yourself some time to take some sips. I don't want you to overwhelm yourself and burn out before you can burn bright for this change. Now, for others of you, this is not new information. In fact, it may actually be your lived experience. It can be exhausting to be inundated with all these reminders of traumatic experiences that you're exposed to in living or that you have lived through in the past. You are allowed to tap out, take a break, rest, restore, and return with renewed energy. One of the great things about social movements is that you don't have to bear the brunt of fighting this fight alone. There is a community with you. We are all standing together, which means with enough people, you don't always have to be the one on. You don't always have to be the one showing up. You're allowed to take time and space away so that you can come back and tap somebody else out, which is pretty cool. And if you're not already, be intentional and start exposing yourself to other voices and messages outside of your own experience. Go ahead and check your playlist, your movie list, your bookshelf, and see how many artists and voices are different from your own race. Seeking out other voices from other races, ethnicities, and cultures is so important because as you get familiar with other voices and other lived experiences, it decreases that anxiety and fear of the unknown. You don't only have to read and reflect and interact with different cultures around issues about social reform and justice. This is about getting familiar and comfortable with other voices. And if during this process you start feeling really overwhelmed or unsure about what to do, I really recommend you watch the video on your screen right here, which is all about the 4 DBT coping skills for crisis survival. And please, if you found this information helpful and valuable, share this video. You never know who you could be helping in the process. Thanks for watching.